And even at the 8 density units per acre, they included a clubhouse, a swimming pool, walking trails, and tied to an 8-acre wetland. That's pretty good use for 8 dwelling units per acre, in my opinion. We go to Muskego, this is the mixed use capacity. And when you're looking at it, they did a syndics and an apartment. 10.8 acres, 3 4-story apartment buildings, each at 30 units. That's 90 units on 10 acres, 8.33 dwelling units per acre. Sounds reasonable. Looking at the Drexel thing, and I know it has no comparison as to what the actual apartments were, but when you talk about the planned unit development in the area, the apartments were only a 1.96 dwelling units per acre component of an 85-acre development. And I'm sure that if you calculated some shared spaces and all that other stuff, the actual dwelling units per acre would come down, but probably, it definitely wouldn't be 60, I would guess, on what they plan for use. I mean, there's a whole ton of walking trails and all that stuff on the map that are part of this development, adjacent to the apartments. So I don't think we're too far out of line with what I'm showing as a consideration for an alternate. And I guess that's my 2 cents on that, and I appreciate your time for listening.
Thanks, Jason.
Could I interrupt?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
I think that the committee just needs to keep in mind that we're putting in place some guidelines, and we need to trust our planner and the plan commission, the village board, to ultimately end up making those decisions, depending on what comes forth, you know, as a potential development. Similar to at the chamber bylaws, you know, I can have 3 to 12 board members, not over 12, not less than 7. Excuse me, 7 to 12. But I mean, it's giving me guidelines as to how to run my business. So, you know, I don't think we need to, I think we need to give them some flexibility, trust that they're going to make good decisions when things come forward. But I hate to pigeonhole us into not having, you know, enough flexibility for you guys to make good decisions.
We made some good flexibility by creating additional land uses with the high density and the mixed use, and then we also increased it by 75% as far as what you can do with it. So I think there's some compromise in here. I think your flexibility.
I think also, Jason, if these are maximum allowable densities that we're talking about.
On what I just drafted? No, in here, there's 20
We're
plus.
looking at right now, those are maximum allowable units. I think the builders, the developers, they're going to build what they see the need for. It might only be, because they're not going to have apartments just sitting empty. They're not just going to go across the street here and throw up 300 units.
But I almost saw that.
What?
10 months ago, I was staring at 448 and running right past my kids.
I don't see it happening. Either that, or you're a very poor business plan on some developer's part. A lot of these things that you see out there, they're being built in stages.
Right.
You know, stage 1. They see the demand. Okay, let's move forward. Let's build stage 2 to this. If it gets to stage 2, and that's it, well then all of a sudden, let's say it went from 20 units, it's going to go down to 10 units for that available piece of property that is there. I just, again, I look at this as saying, we're talking maximums. You know, if you look at Ashland Village, it's 16 right there. Does that bother anybody when you drive by Ashland Village? No, because, at least it doesn't bother me, because it's off the road, it's behind, there's trees, there's single-family homes in front of it. It's buffered back there. You got a cemetery on the other side. That's 16. That's not too far off of 20. And nobody's talking about that as being a bad thing for the community.
It's more choosing the proper location for those type of things.
I think that's part of it. Proper location for it.
I wanted to mention, at the chamber, I had done a survey during that time of the proposed Fountain Park. And we kept it very general. It wasn't that specific location or that specific builder, but it was what the business community felt. And I'll send this around so that you each have a copy. But I mean, 90% of the businesses, over half of the chamber members, took the survey, and they all felt a need to have that sort of development in the community because they don't have a place for their workers. You know, their workers are traveling 20 minutes plus, you know, to get to the office. We also just recently did a hotel survey, again, with 50% of the chamber replying, and there's a huge need for a hotel because the current hotel is the current.
Doesn't serve our current needs.
Yeah, it's not desired by the membership. So it's just some general facts maybe that I could decide around that. Again, it's not about the location of the development or how large it is. It's just more that there's a need for it.
I agree we have a need, but I don't know that this picture is outside of that economic demand.
From my perspective, I think the reason I asked the question before about why are we putting limits, why don't we do like other communities and just say, does it look good? If it looks good, yeah, let's do it kind of thing. I think the fact that there is published limits sets parameters that can be reduced based upon the individual circumstance. So you are setting boundaries, which I think is an admirable thing, obviously compared to a lot of the other municipalities that we've heard about. And I agree with Joe entirely that we have to trust the integrity and the skill of, you know, the people who to look at the building plans and the proposals by developers to determine what is right. And if it be 17.5 dwelling units per acre, so be it, as long as it doesn't exceed that particular cap that we impose. We have to trust the integrity and the skill and the training of these people.
Well, the planning commission and the elected officials,
Exactly,
there's 2 and 3 layers of approval.
Many layers of approval, so.
But you also have to be careful that what you allow and what you desire may not always end up where you are.
I agree, but there is
So there's
a
gotta
number of
be
ways you can
barometer
stop
control.
things that aren't appropriate for the village.
Ron, you can't just say, I'm stopping there because I don't like it. If it's allowable in some capacity, somebody has the authority to tell you, you can't tell me no. So, I mean, yeah, that's how New Berlin got into whatever tangle they got into. And this is totally irrelevant to that, but I think we have to be cautionary on how far we reach to come up with some of these definitions, because you might not end up where you think you want it to be.
Roger, Joseph?
April, this is a classic thing, the town and the village and the chamber members. Was the survey limited to village residents, or was it just the chamber members in general? That's just a xenophobic kind of comment.
Well, that's the only, I mean, I don't know when we have contact in the whole community.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but,
Yeah.
so anyways, and then we are talking about maximum limits and minimum limits. 21st, 35 talking about maximum, talking about that type of thing. And the cyclical point of what Jason's bringing up, the Tracy Cross study, and I looked at it, and we're on the western edge of the market area. So we're downstream, and there's a bunch of other stuff upstream. And so when I was bringing up some of this other stuff and saying, no problem with her study, I think it was a good study, I think she did, potential competition type of thing. We already know since that study was done, there's some other, including Entercon. Entercon, with Muskego was in her study as competition. This is another one. And I mean, what you're talking about, also another Greenfield community that's also Entercon, whether or not they're still even in play for this location, I don't know. How deep are the pockets and how much are they going to go. But, so going along with Jason saying, the cyclical part of it, all of these opportunities are coming because we're coming out of some sort of cycle. Is it strong? Isn't it? Interest rates? Yeah. It's macroeconomics. I don't know. Type of thing. But you know, what's going on upstream, you know, how much in terms of, you know, her absorption rate is true today, you know, all those kind of things. And, you know, still goes back to where we put the stuff has a big impact in what's surrounding it. I'm getting this multi-use.
Or kind of location.
Yeah, I'm getting this multi-use thing better. What I've seen, and you're talking about, you know, trusting the village government and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. What I've seen over a number of years is that there is traditionally, and if I look at 2035, and I, you know, look at what's actually happened, and I look at other studies that people have done going back to 2009, 2008, there's a disconnect in the village, and somebody already said this, it was Bruce, there's a disconnect between the built environment, the physical environment in Mukwonago, and what I could call a social environment. Fred and April, you know, nice article, you know, in this Waukesha Freeman about the people of Mukwonago, you know, that, you know, the service organizations, I think sometimes there's a disconnect with service organizations are looking for things to do in Mukwonago to be helpful. I think there's a disconnect with that to some extent. So you like the feel of the village, and you like the social aspect of people who will, you know, when somebody's down, will, you know, come forward, or, you know, whether it's the Legion, whether it's the Lions, whether it's the Kiwanis, you know, Rotary, hope I'm not leaving anybody out, but all these service organizations that, you know, will come together and do things. That's a social aspect. Our built environment, you know, I'm a downtown guy, and I look at a lot of things lost in the built environment, see a disconnect. If you make these communities at the right place in the community, and my biggest concern is.
Talking about the districts?
Pardon
Is
me?
that what you're referring to as the districts?
Yeah, in the
Okay.
district, but I think my biggest concern is, again, you know, dividing things into south, you know, middle, north, with this highway thing and not seeing that the highway 83 was, I don't think, considered in the traffic study on the north side of town. And there's still something in terms of development there. And what raised your attention was 400 plus units?
448 is what I was.
Yeah, so that is, you know, it's a number that gets your attention. You know, so across the study was saying, okay, so 960 units, and we're taking this big percentage just for Mukwonago. So looking upstream, you know, what's ahead of us. You know, if these people are commuting into Milwaukee and they're going back and forth, are they, you know, going to live closer or further from work, you know, all these types of things. It's a lot of moving parts. So, and not addressing the freeway on the, you know, Highway 83, or how long is that going to be, or not putting in the study. So throwing all those things out and saying, yeah, a lot of moving parts, and again, where do you put the stuff, you know, will have an effect on what your density is too. You know, what can that area handle? Is a 50-acre site, is a 5-acre site, you know, what are you putting on that site?
Bruce, are we limited in time?
Yes, that should, change
fine.
the,
Okay.
right, thank you.
So here's what we'll do, we'll take a 5-minute break here real quickly, we will reconvene then, and we will come back and pick up on our agenda here. I think that concludes number 5, we'll move on to number 6 and talk about the 2 districts, and move on from there. Okay? Take a break now.
I'll work with the next one, Mr. Ray.
The questions are answered.